What is happening, all you sexy YouTube warriors out there? Range Day Bro back at it again, and today I have a very special video for you guys. We're going to be going over the top 5 AR-15s, what barrel lengths, what manufacturers, calibers, different configurations. We're going to hit it all. Let's get into it. Guys, so most of you are familiar with this guy right here. This is the Colt LE6920, and this guy has been in service in the military for many years. Essentially, this is where the AR-15 modernized has started and what it has evolved from. In fact, I believe many manufacturers have actually evolved and started from making different types of components to optimize and make this a more efficient carbine. I believe Daniel Defense, with their RIS-2 rail, started for the Colt. I think Knight's Armament and a few other companies kind of started their innovation by trying to improve on this platform, and then became obviously the giants that they are today. So this guy is kind of the OG, the way I see it, as far as AR-15s go, and you cannot bring up the AR-15 in a top 5 without bringing up the Colt. It's pretty bone stock. This one's out of the box. I haven't changed anything on it. In fact, I haven't even fired this. This is more of a collection piece for me, and it is about as bone stock as you can get as far as AR-15 goes. It's got the front sight post gas block. It's got a, forget what this is called, what kind of handguard this is, but it's not a free float handguard, and everything else is 100% mil spec on it. I mean, even down to the A2 grip and this little cheap plastic adjustable stock. Not knocking it, guys, just not my preference for what I would consider the best of the best. This guy was made back several years ago. This is one of their last full production Colts where they made most of the parts, including the bolt carrier group. I thought it was really cool. This is my number 5 choice, guys. As you can see, bone stock, but this is pretty much all you need. The only thing I would add to this for a home defense or for a duty type rifle is a light, as I always advocate for lights on guns because a lot of times bad things happen at night. Ambidextrous charging handle would be nice as well. Selector, trigger, stock, and probably upgrade this guy as well. But there's a lot of things to be said for the simplicity of this thing, and you don't have to worry about reliability. Of course not. The newer Colts, I haven't seen anything bad about them. However, I don't have any experience with shooting them. In fact, I don't have any experience with shooting this either. I just know that the track record that these Colts have are phenomenal. So if I had to trust my life to anything, I would not hesitate to pick up this guy and go. Now, this is a 16-inch barrel, 5.56 rifle, so you're going to be getting really good ballistics, be able to reach out 500-600 yards with the 223 and 5.56 caliber. You're going to be able to put a stock on there, vertical grip, whatever you'd like, because it is classified as a rifle. So at the end of the day, great rifle. You don't need much more than this, guys. Like a light and maybe a red dot would be nice. Outside of that, this is going to get the job done all day. With that being said, let's move on to the number 4 choice. Alright, guys, so you might have guessed it, but BCM was definitely going to be in the top 5 list, and here we have the BCM enhanced lightweight upper with the 14.5-inch barrel with a pinned and welded dead air flash hider. So overall length is over 16 inches, constituting this as a rifle. So BCM, most of you guys are probably familiar with them by now. They're known as the working man's fighting rifle. They are not super high-end, top tier, like you're going to be paying for a Knight's or something like that. However, they are a bit higher quality, durability, so to speak. I've never done durability tests on these, so disclaimer, but as far as I'm concerned, they're a bit higher quality than a Palmetto State. However, you're going to pay for that quality. So another thing we'll get into is price, but this is a 5.56 caliber. Going back to the Colt LE6920, those can get kind of expensive because they're no longer in production as full Colt rifles. So that's kind of an oddball there, but you used to be able to get that for about $1,000, $1,200 around that price point. The BCMs now are going for around $1,500 to $1,600 for a complete rifle. Now this one specifically is built out with an Aero Precision lower. I built it out myself, in fact, and it is a phenomenal rifle. It is my most lightweight rifle I own. I mean, it is like light as a feather compared to some of my other builds because of the BCM enhanced lightweight upper and just limiting what I have on the handguard here. I would definitely add a light, but with this Holosun 503G ACSS and a bolt carrier group by BCM, you really can't go wrong, guys. This thing is a phenomenal rifle. Also going to be able to reach out to 500 yards easily with this 14.5-inch barrel. It's also just short enough. I mean, it's as short as you can go legally outside of a 13.7. So with a 14.5, it's pretty much as short as you can go legally and have it be a rifle still and be able to maneuver around a home for a home defense situation. So that's why I like these 14.5s and the 13.7s. But these 14.5s, I mean, you can't go wrong with the ballistic performance you're going to get and still the maneuverability and the lightweight you're going to be able to get. Now these BCM rails, super thin, free floated, everything, by all accounts, bomb proof. I've seen videos of guys running these for 20, 30,000 rounds, just torturing the shit out of their guns. I'm not that kind of guy, guys. I love my guns. I don't want to torture them. These guys will run and run and run, and I have no doubt that BCM is one of the best manufacturers on the market, especially for hitting that really nice price point where you don't really want to be spending $2,000 or $3,000 on a whole rig. You can pick up one of these guys for around $1,500, $1,600, add a light, add an optic, and then you're sitting around probably $2,200 to $2,300. With that being said, guys, let me know what you think about number 5 and number 4 so far. Let's move on to number 3. All right, if you guessed the Daniel Defense DDM4 PDW, then you guessed right. Number 3 is this beauty right here. You can't help but smile when you look at this thing. It is phenomenal. This is the DDM4 300 Blackout PDW because it has the PDW style brace. This guy is phenomenal. 7-inch barrel, 300 Blackout. So you're going to be getting a lot better ballistic performance out of a shorter barrel on this guy. So you don't have to worry so much about the short barrels with the 300 Blackout caliber. That's why we love it so much. Additionally, you can just change one magazine and go from shooting supersonic ammunition to shooting subsonic ammo. Another thing about Daniel Defense, which I've mentioned in previous videos as well, is that they actually have one manufacturing line for all of their duty rifles and all of their civilian rifles, which I really love, pistols in this case, because you have the same people, the same quality control, and the same level of attention going into all of the civilian side rifles and pistols versus the military side. And we know the military side has a proven track record for many, many years overseas. And so that just warms my heart to hear. For a little shorty, for a backpack gun, for a truck gun, for a home defense gun, this is kind of the all-around do-it-all gun. Now, the only reason it doesn't rank a little bit higher on my list and why it is the only 300 Blackout on my list is because 300 Blackout and its availability is quite heartbreaking at this time. It's very hard to find 300 Blackout. To find it, you're going to have to sell an arm and a leg to get it, and then you can't get that much of it anyhow because there's just not that much out there. So that's the only shortfall of the 300 Blackout is it's how popular it is and how the market has kind of failed to keep up with its popularity. You can't stockpile this kind of ammo, especially if you want to go run drills and actually train with your firearms, which is why I always recommend people get a 300 Blackout upper that they can exchange with their 5.56 upper in a similar length and configuration. For instance, like a 10.5-inch 300 Blackout and having a 10.5-inch 5.56. That way you could train with the 5.56, get proficient, get to know your weapon system really well, and then you can always throw your 300 Blackout upper on there for home defense or for when you're actually going to be using it in duty or in the field. So that's my recommendation, guys, because these are so modular. That's the only reason the Daniel Defense DDM4 PDW and 300 Blackout doesn't rank any higher. We already have a full review on this guy. If you want to see that, go ahead and check it out. I'll link it up here in the card. It's just so compact that it can go where you can go. The best gun to have is the gun you have on you, right? So any gun that you can take more places, keep you safer, keep the ones around you safer, the better, right? So that's why this guy is number 3 on my list. With that being said, let's move on to the number 2 pick. All right, guys, so for number 2, we have the Star Wars build. This is the ATX Armory Adonis 15. This guy is sexy as hell. Now, a lot of you guys may have not heard of ATX Armory, but me being a local here to Austin, Texas, we have ATX Armory right in our backyard. They actually just moved from Austin up to Leander, but they're still just down the road. And this is their Adonis set, so it's a completely milled upper and lower receiver. And I have the Geisley Mark IV 13.5-inch rail in here, or 13-inch rail in here. And I have a FN cold hammer forged chrome lined 14.5-inch barrel with the dead air flash hider pinned and welded. So again, a 14.5 chambered in 5.56. I have the machine gun chrome lined FN barrel in here. I have the Geisley Super Dynamic 3-gun trigger, Radian Raptor selector, PRI gas buster charging handle, SA adjustable gas block in here, and the Trijicon Credo 1-8 on this guy. So this was definitely more of a Gucci type build, and that's the only reason it's not a little bit higher, because you are paying for premium parts. Milled upper and lower receivers always going to run you a little bit more money. They also did a custom Cerakote job on this, a little bit more money there. That's the only reason this thing doesn't rank higher on the list. It is a bit beefier, especially with this scope on here. The scope is no joke. It is a big boy, and it's a little bit beefier than the BCM for sure. However, it is a pleasure and a joy to shoot. It's a very soft shooting, very accurate AR-15. Again, 14.5-inch barrel pinned and welded, so that we can make it a rifle and still keep good ballistic performance while still being somewhat maneuverable in and around corners and out of positions of cover, which is really nice. With this 1-8 Credo on here, it's just a charm. I could zoom in all the way to 8, identify a target, then decide to engage. It's just a phenomenal gun. We have the BCM bolt carrier group in here, and they just run. BCMs, you can't be mad about those. They just run perfectly, and I actually built this one out. And I know we're talking about guns you can buy complete, and this one was kind of a little cheat on that because I did build this gun. But I tell you what, it was really easy. I won't even call it building, I call it assembling, so you guys could do it as well. ATX Armory here in Austin. You can find their uppers and lowers on their website, but I'm a huge fan of this guy, and you're not going to get better quality than a billet milled receiver set and a Geisley rail, so, and an FN barrel. So this guy ranks as number 2 on the list. It is a great gun just to go plinking with, just to sit down on a bag and see what kind of accuracy you can get. If you guys want to see a full review on this ATX Armory, please let me know down in the comments below. But with that being said, it is time for the number 1 pick. Boom, here we are. Y'all may have guessed it, but we have the Daniel Defense Mark 18 in the 5.56 caliber is our number 1 choice, guys. What can I say that hasn't already been said about the Daniel Defense? So as you can see, I have it outfitted with the Dead Air Sandman S. With this package, with this setup, this is my go to war duty rifle. Why is that? And I'll just mention it again. The guys and girls over at Daniel Defense are making these for the SF guys, the same as they're making it for you and I. And combination of the barrel length, the cheap ammo in the 5.56, or cheap-ish ammo, cheaper than 300 Blackout. Its durability overall gives me the supreme confidence I need to train with it and be proficient with this weapon system. That's why it's my number 1, because you're still going to get pretty decent performance out of the 5.56 cartridge when it's out of a 10.3. It's about as short as I would go, but I'm still able to reach out to 500 yards with this. Now, it's not going to have as much oomph when it gets there as a 14.5 or as a 16-inch barrel would, but it's still going to be plenty good for what my application is. I'm a really big fan of the Daniel Defense Mark 18. If you want one do-it-all rifle, would this be it? Or pistol? Probably not. I would say go with the BCM 14.5, because you just have more options with that as far as what you can do and really reach out. You could have the 14.5 and also have this guy. This is my nightstand gun. This is the gun I'm most likely to grab in an oh shit scenario. That's why it's my number 1, guys. Not because it is so much better than the BCM. It's just honestly preference and what I'm comfortable with, right? For the money, you really can't go wrong. This guy goes for about $2,200 on Daniel Defense's website, or like 18 or 19 after tax. You're going to be around 2,000. This guy, for the price, you can't really compete with it. The next step up would be like a Noveske or a Knight's Armament, and I don't have any time on those, although I am about to pick up a Noveske soon. I can't really speak to that at all, so I'll speak to what I know, and I know this guy is phenomenal, a workhorse, and this will get it done all day for you guys. So I have this guy kitted out with a Dead Air Sandman S, Surefire Scout 1500 Lumen Light, a Magpul Angle foregrip, a Magpul QD socket there, the EOTech EXPS 3-2, Vortex Micro 3X magnifier, M-Bus Pro folding rear sight. I have the Radian LT ambidextrous FDE charging handle on here, which I've changed out recently from the Daniel Defense, just because I like the tan look on it, guys. And then all the rest is Daniel Defense furniture and selector switch, trigger, mil-spec trigger that it came with, SBA 4 brace, and a Magpul Gen 3 PMag with the window. So this is the setup, guys. This is my number 1 choice for the best AR-15 you can get. Like I said, if it's a do-it-all rifle, we'll have to do a video on that, because I wouldn't necessarily call this the do-it-all. I mean, it can do it all, but maybe something like 11.5 or 12.5 might be better suited for a do-it-all type rifle or pistol. I'm very confident with this, and so that's why it made it easily into my number 1 choice. it tends to be the one that I find myself gravitating to most when I want to go to the range. With that being said, guys, I'd like to hear what your top 5 is. Please let me know down in the comments. No matter what rifle or pistol you choose, guys, it's always going to be important to train with them. Just get out there on the range, take a box of ammo, even if it's not that much, do some reloading drills, and also don't forget to do some dry fire and some reloading drills at home, which you can do very easily. Spend time getting to know your weapon systems. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. If it's your first time here, thank you very much for checking out the channel. If you're a return viewer, thank you very much for your loyalty, you sexy YouTube warriors. And until next time, stay safe, stay dangerous. Range day, bro. Out.